Hello, 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 good people, and welcome to Happy Healthy Whole with Sharea. This is week 2 of our series, Rooted in Wellness. This week we're talking rest without guilt is a healing practice. Remember that rest without guilt is a healing practice. If you are following me on my Substack, I'm kind of doing a little bit of healing and joy mixed with rooted in wellness because they go hand in hand. Let's talk about guilt first. Because as Black women, rest isn't just about actually relaxing, right? It's just not like putting our feet up and giving our all to the resting moment. It's uncomfortable. It's noisy. It's filled with thought like, I shouldn't do this or I should be doing something else. I have to earn this. I'm disappointed that I didn't get things done the way I wanted to. So maybe I should do more before I try to rest. Someone is going to be disappointed in me. It's rooted with all this noisiness that says, maybe, just maybe, we don't deserve rest. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? Whether you're honest or not, or whether you know or recognize that that's what's happening when you're trying to just do something as simple as relax, it's happening. Now, I want us all to acknowledge that if we can. And if not, I just also want you to know that I didn't make this up. I've heard this with my clients. I've heard this with my friends. I've heard it in other ways that people say it, but they're just not calling it guilt. It's almost like this trigger and this familiar thing that says, directly or indirectly, I need to earn this rest, that my value is tied to my output. And if my value is tied to my output, rest is something that you just don't do and or you don't take in as part of your care, because it means that you're slowing down and it's dangerous. So if we want to think about it from that perspective, last week we talked about safety. If we're thinking that guilt doesn't make us feel sort of a shame or a level of disappointment in ourselves, then we can't be honest enough to know that the reason we don't slow down sometimes is because it causes us to have this feeling of, it causes our nervous system especially to interpret it as this, like this threat, this inability to move or to take action. But it also makes us feel like these terms that we like to, throw out at each other: lazy, you're not living up to your best potential, whatever that may mean, in a sense that your potential has to be about and or is tied to what you offer the world or do for the world. And so then you have these things that start to cause you to feel like, well, it is lazy to not do anything. I should always have a goal I'm chasing after. If we're honest, that's us being conditioned. That's us being conditioned to believe that, like I said earlier, we have to earn rest. We have to do more to get it. We should be doing more because of our historical experience in this country. The fact that we feel disappointed in ourselves because someone might be thinking that we didn't earn it or we're being lazy is how our nervous system, going back to that again, that safety thing we need to start with, right? From that clinical perspective, it means that guilt during rest is a sign that our nervous system has been trained to be sort of activated, hyper alert, on point, always learning something, to always moving, never being still enough to honestly be vulnerable in your body, recognizing your body and learning the signals that are beyond survival around your body. And that means that you're really literally in hypervigilance. And hypervigilance is something that, without even knowing, it is damaging your ability to feel safe, your ability to move forward in joy, and your ability to get to that place where not only you're rooted in wellness, but you're actually healing in joy. And so last week we're talking safety. This week we're talking rest as a true form of intervention that doesn't require you to have to earn it. I want you to say something very clearly with me. And you can say this in your head if you're watching and you have people around. Rest is not the absence of work. Rest is an intervention. Rest is how our nervous systems learn that the danger has passed. That's it. Right? It's not this huge thing that goes now. Rest can include relaxation. Rest can include going to sleep. It can include a number of things. But I just want us to assure ourselves in our mind, especially if we've always attached it to output, that even if we are going to continue to do things, we still need rest. Rest is not the absence of work. It is an intervention within your work. And so rest is how our nervous system learns that danger has passed. So let's pause because we're going to be doing a lot of pausing in our sessions or in our series. I say sessions in our series this time because one of the things I want us to walk away with, if nothing else, is that I can at least take a pause and at least take a pause in this moment. So rest again. We're going to rest and we're going to have our nervous system take a pause. So let's pause together. You can't see my hands because this camera, for some reason, is so high and I'm short in this seat. So let's pause for just a moment. It feels okay for just a moment to pause. If you can, for myself, I am actually going to do this as well. I can't even reach the floor because of the chair, but I would have to move up to do so. I'm going to move up a little bit. You get to get a close up. Go ahead and rest your feet flat on the ground. Notice this, notice what surrounds you, what's beneath you. Take a slow breath in and now take a longer breath out. That's the beginning of rest. It's a pause. It's a moment. It's not that you are going to take the entire day off, the entire week off. You're just going to pause. You're going to start with gentle reminders that in this moment, I just need to pause. Now, you don't need to just relax. You need to rest. You need to notice that when you're going too fast, you're moving too fast, that you need to try slowing down, taking a pause. And one of the things that I'm working on right now is a workbook around rest without guilt. And I haven't figured out how it's going to go. So please, this is me talking on the spot, but I really want it to be about us seeing how to separate our worth from our productivity, or at least one section really about separating that so that we can be honest that it's not about what we earn, it's about what our bodies need and what we desire sometimes. I invite you this week to complete this sentence honestly and without judgment. I feel guilt resting when. That right there is no answer. There is no right or wrong answer. There is nothing that will make you free and or connected to it so deeply that you can't get free of it until we are honest about acknowledging the truth. I feel guilty resting when, and then you finish the sentence. And then gently, I want you to reframe this statement. So, for example, my body deserves rest even when nothing is finished. My body deserves rest even when nothing is finished. You don't have to believe it yet. I'm not asking for that because I'm sure there's the doubters, the people who are like, oh, here, what is one more woo-woo person trying to show me something about my nervous system. But the truth is that some of these things are not just about surviving, they're about living. And so you don't have to believe it yet. I'm not stress the word yet because I want you to stay with me. I got about 8 weeks worth of this that we're going to be resetting our nervous system, learning some deep, just quick. And I'm going to try to make it practical ways for us to do so. Healing doesn't have to happen when we are being forced and or forcing ourselves to do things like rest in I gotta sleep right now, gotta go to take this nap, gotta right. Sometimes it just requires us to slow. It requires us to give ourselves permission to acknowledge what we need and to do so in a way that honors that we are still learning to release guilt, that we are still learning that we don't have to earn it, that we are still learning that resting is an intervention and not this larger thing that we have to earn or get to around productivity. Now, I'm asking you not I'm asking you to notice guilt and to meet yourself with compassion in a way that also doesn't increase the shame. So, when we are doing that, that reframing tool that I talked about is going to be extremely important. So I want to make sure I close with going right back to it, right? So if I feel guilt resting when, and then I finish that sentence, our reframe is my body deserves rest, even when nothing is finished. That's it. It's a simple, quick way to get our mind to think differently around rest. We are teaching our nervous system in that moment that There's something new to believe. There's something new that we can think, that you are safe, that you can slow down, that you can stop when you're done or when you're not done. You're teaching your nervous system something new that can help you move way beyond this moment. Like our page if you haven't already. Please like the videos. It continues to help us to show up and support other women who are on journeys around healing, and healing in joy specifically is where I focus my work at. Our next episode is about armor and how we armor ourselves and what we wear in terms of keeping ourselves safe. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the power of acknowledging your identity and the power of your voice as you acknowledge that identity. All right, you guys take good care of yourselves. I will see you on this other side. Be well.